And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nelforge, the Westroad Gateway. Episode 2. Title unknown, set unknown. At least until we find out later what was interesting in the episode and what's going on in the set. So far, hey, who wants to recap?
We met and we saved two young girls from being crushed by a box and found out that one of them is the daughter of a freshly appointed count, relatively freshly appointed, 5 years or so.
Well, actually about 18 years ago.
18 years, okay, but with a mysterious past. And now something infernal is crawling around on his grass, as we heard from our druid.
Right, as the druid heard from the grass.
Yeah, the druid heard from the grass.
Infernal plague is not the sort of thing that Chem Green will come by with a truck and take care of.
Yeah. The grass told our druid, she told us, and we believed it.
And why shouldn't you?
Or like sounds legit.
Well,
I've never heard.
Why would the druid lie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, about grass, no less.
I don't know you well enough to know that you wouldn't just lie about any old thing. Maybe you have ulterior motives.
So now
so
we
speaks
are
the
there.
barbarian. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now we are there at the house of the Count, and he has invited us to help him for 2 weeks. Because
in about 2 weeks, his daughter, Candace, is going to have her 16th birthday. How auspicious, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious.
So we suspect.
Auspicious.
Auspicious and suspicious. It's sometimes suspicious.
So we suspect that someone is going to try and kill or otherwise remove her from the play
Some sort of mayhem before her 16th birthday. But to what end?
Exactly. We have no idea.
Question. Mm-hmm. You'd spent
Many
the afternoon. You'd spent the afternoon inveigling and ingratiating and otherwise inserting yourself into the Count's household.
Except
and his
doing your best to antagonize the old cook.
Yeah, right.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We have a cook. And
well, let's face it, Celestia Agramatic is not the most pleasant of individuals under the best of circumstances. When she has competition in her kitchen, the knives come out. Not necessarily in a nice way.
Yes.
Don't antagonize people who
literal and metaphorical.
Yeah, the knives came out, but where are they going to get stuck?
Yeah.
Now, let's see. Someone had found something unusual in the kitchen. What was that again?
A latched from within.
A trapdoor in the floor of the pantry, which was secured
from the other side.
From the other side. Meaning someone has a way into the manor without... that's real interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it could be someone hiding in a room or something, maybe.
Yes.
I hadn't even thought about
I
it.
look at whoever looks the strongest, and I will say, can you put, this very large crate on top of that? I appreciate it.
Well, I'm probably the strongest one in the room.
Well,
there's somebody in the party who is stronger, but probably isn't in the kitchen right now.
Actually, to come to think of it, there is one other bit of business we need to attend to.
Oh yeah, there's some magical horse brass in the stable.
Well, no, there's something else. You have an extra player this week. Roy has joined us, and he was not in the previous session. So, yeah, there's the
So what's he
question
doing
of
here? He just suddenly walks in.
probably not suddenly walks in on the Count's household while it's
I
on
will
high alert. That
I will
seems a
spend
little
a fate
unlikely.
point to declare that Koi's character is the person on the other side of that trap door. It opens, and out comes Koi's character.
I'm going to say,
Ta-da.
I'm going to say not just no, but hell no to that.
But it seems like a really good opportunity for you to try to roll with the punches.
Now, first, where did you get the fate point?
Leftover.
From another
unused.
game.
You know they expire, right?
They actually gain interest. I compound interest daily. I have about 5 right now.
Yeah, do you know how long it's been since I ran Fate? I compound disinterest.
That doesn't even sound like a thing. I'm pretty sure I need compensation if that's the case.
Did
Well.
you purchase fate insurance?
Why, yes. It seemed like a good idea.
At the time.
Yeah. After this
So-
episode, I will be selling fate insurance, so that's okay. Just let me know if anyone's interested.
But no, we are going instead to bring in Koi by certain means.
Through the window?
No,
Through the wall.
we're going to put him at Wagon Row, not far from the site where the crate of cracked crockery almost crushed Candace.
That's quite the alliteration.
Yeah, 3 times fast and you win a prize.
Almost a certain catastrophe.
Criminally.
Clever.
So yeah, so we start with Lynx Ascendalore on
Warren.
Wagon Row.
Warren.
Okay, Warren. Doesn't like his given name for some reason. I don't know why.
The family name comes first with Dragonborns.
Okay.
At least that's what the book said.
So noted. And where we go with this is we have Warren sort of milling around where a number of people are looking around at this crate. How is Warren dressed?
Typically, as if someone who lives in the woods more often than in a town.
Okay, so I'm guessing a bit Wastelander?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And a man is going to come out of the crowd near the scene, approach you, and says, "Pardon me, you're from the Wasteland, are you not?"
Yes.
All right. There were a number of other Wastelanders involved peripherally to this incident, and I'm hoping you know them. And he starts describing a few people that, as it turns out, yes, you know.
Okay then.
Because, of course, all people who live in the wasteland know each other.
Right.
Oh, it's a poor assumption, but sometimes you don't have that much to go on.
Yes, but
I've had quite a few Canadians ask me if I knew such and such person also from Ohio. So it makes sense.
A certain perverse sense, yeah. So you go ahead and admit that you know those people,
I guess
which would be Tess and Fagak,
Yes.
aka James and John.
Yes.
we'll go with it.
Okay.
Fagak is a half-orc war speaker from the Bry Hills clan. He also, in Nelforge, sometimes when he goes into Nelforge, he works as a bard. Weirdly enough.
And James's character Tess is a dervish fighter, aka barbarian, from
Was
the
that what's
Soaring Hawk clan.
A dervish fighter. Is that self-styled or?
And it's a bit self-styled.
It's basically what the Soaring Hawk clan calls their barbarian ragers.
Aha. Makes sense.
It's one possible thing. If you want to make it canon, we can.
Sounds cool to me.
Yes, well, we're in the process of investigating what happened here, and I believe there is a good chance that we'll find your friends at a certain residence uptown. If you'd like to come with me,
Sure.
you can tell me a little bit about them, and I can tell you a little bit about what happened.
I don't trust this guy.
I don't know anything about them yet. I've only recently made their acquaintance and was supposed to meet them here.
Well, then I know what got them waylaid. Right this way. And he walks you along Wagon Row for a good distance, and he sort of takes you up past the eastern edge of Temple Row, up into the Kedia's Spire area.
Interesting.
Not many wastelanders see this area, and he goes up to a very fine-looking house, at least for this neighborhood, which is fine indeed. And the doorman is a tiefling in full livery. And yes, can I help you? Yes, I'm here to ask a few questions about the incident on Wagon Row involving the crate that fell.
Yes, you can tell he's a doorman. He's wearing liver. No livery.
Filter organ. Yeah.
Those are the best.
Shades of Lady Gaga.
Oh, God.
Then there's the Al Yankovic parody. Bet you've never seen a skirt steak worn this way. Yeah. Anyway. No, I'm not going to play that here.
Doesn't seem practical.
Doesn't it? No, it doesn't. That's kind of the point. Anyway, what amounts to, you're just getting everyone sat down for, everyone inside, returning to the rest of the party, and the Count and his wife and his daughter are having seats at a large table, and it has almost a dinner party atmosphere, except of course for everybody being dressed in what they were wearing this afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah. There's also the matter of that. Yeah, the Count is sitting at one end of the table. Who's sitting at the other end?
His wife, probably.
They like each other better than that.
Yeah, they do like each other better than that. You have the Count, his wife, and his daughter sitting all together up at one end of the table.
Oh, so we're
And you're at
supposed to
the
have
other.
somebody represent us as a leader here?
Maybe I'm edging in that direction.
Let's see.
The seat just heated up, I gather.
Well,
Yeah,
this really depends on how funny we want this to be.
Let's see. Who has the least charisma?
While people
Let's
are
see.
deliberating over
The
it,
set. Okay, the set began with what looked like an attempt on someone's life. How funny do you think you can get with this set?
Really funny because no one got hurt.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, this particular scene, because, who has the best charisma versus who has the lowest.
You could do worse.
while
than an
people are
8.
thinking about it, the halfling sneaks into the chair.
Oh, okay.
Jilly is a woman of action.
Makes sense. Yes. This
And
fits.
about the time you're just sitting down to dinner and the first plates are about to get passed around, there is a knock at the door. One of the servants who's just bringing out a plate sets it over on the sideboard, goes to the door, and 2 people come in. Warren is one of them. And the other is the man that came with him.
But they are both not on the list that Andros.
Yes,
gave us.
Andros. Yeah, they are not household staff. Neither of them. In fact, Warren looks like a wastelander. So,
Warren looks like a dragon.
there's that too. If Warren is household staff, the house is much, much larger than anybody suspected. Yes, Count Lavanel, we have some questions about the incident that occurred on Wagon Row this afternoon. Would you mind? I see you're sitting down to dinner. Yes.
I'm interrupting and asking, we?
Well, yes, actually. He comes over, reaches into his pocket, pulls out a few papers that identify him as an investigator in service to the Duke.
Ooh.
Fancy.
A cop.
Duke out. By the way, Duke outranks Count.
Who is this Duke?
It's the boss of the city.
Probably not the Duke of Earl.
Not the Duke of Earl either. This is the Duke Duke Umbrell, Gavin Winchester.
Oh,
That nice fellow.
Duke Umbrell, Duke Umbrell.
Oh, so you're looking into the incident of the girl almost being killed too.
Yes, well, I am, and several of my subordinates are too.
To make sure she's safe.
Among other things, yes. And I think one of the
other things.
fastest ways to make sure that she's safe is to catch whoever did this. What information can you provide?
I look very confused for a moment, like when he says among other things, and go, what other things is there that are more important than keeping her safe? I mean, that is the whole point of catching the I almost said pervert, the perpetrator, is it not?
Well, you don't know. You might be correct in the long run. I can't say for sure.
But did you know that you are the first
Can I
one?
just have a quick look at those credentials, please?
Oh, certainly. And he shows you the papers.
And I'm not sure what all. Let me have another look at my character sheet.
Let me have another look at your character sheet, too.
I'm
I
not
think
sure
the
what
skill-
skill I used to.
I believe the skill would be investigation.
Which I don't have.
You
Which
do not
I
have
have.
proficiency in it.
I
But,
don't have proficiency in it, but someone who does.
Well,
I
at
have.
the moment, Thagak has the sheet. Give me a d20 roll, John.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, then with my Jack of all trades, I get a +1 to it, which gives me a net +0 on it.
Why do you have an initial -1 in investigate?
my intelligence. Oh, that's right. I have an initial 0. I hadn't. Oh, because I hadn't corrected all of that after I raised my intelligence 1 when I hit 4th level. So it should be an initial 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
With Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, that becomes +1.
There we go.
Okay, and I rolled a 16, so that's 17.
They look pretty authentic to you.
Okay.
Freshly forged.
Even little bits of wear here and there.
You can forge that too.
If you want to be that way about the possibility.
A little flourish on the signature. That's the Duke's authentic signature. I've seen it before.
Really?
I mean, I've seen other papers like this. Certainly on my busking license. Or whatever. No, actually, that's the Duke's seal or whatever, anyway. Okay, never mind that. What I looked at saying, well, that's the Duke's seal, all right. It seems to be in order. There you go.
Right, thank you.
Are you aware that inside 8 hours since the incident happened, you are the first one to come here of your whole team? Or is it 6 hours or whatever?
I understand that. It's probably been closer to 6.
6 hours. Okay.
And yes, we've been
mostly walk. Considering there are no telephones, I'd say that's not bad.
Well, there's the travel time.
Telephones, though.
Well, yes, there is the time to get there. There is the time first for the notification to get to us, then us to get there. And we have been concentrating on that scene and found some irregularities that concern us.
Oh.
Finally, I came out to here.
That's allowing almost no time for bureaucracy, I'm surprised.
So
Really?
what are these
Irregularities here, too.
irregularities?
Well, at the time, that loft was locked. Not openable from either side.
Is there a grassy knoll?
So not locked, but boarded up, or what does that mean?
No, it
Not
was
open?
locked. That hole in the front of the building that crates get craned into was the only way in and out of that loft at the time.
And you're saying that there is what? No other way to move that?
Well, there would have been no other way to get up there to push the crate out except going in through that entrance. We've been talking with people who have keys to it, and they've had no reason to open the crates, nor have their keys gone missing. There's no reason to open that lock, nor have the keys gone missing.
Someone could pick the lock, though.
Yes, indeed.
We're looking into that possibility. Among other things, now we're looking into anybody who might have reason to make such an attempt on what I gather is Candace's life.
We've been just sort of speculating about that very thing.
I would love to be included on further speculation.
Have you looked into anything demonic in the area?
No, I haven't.
You might.
That is a bothersome prospect. I'll bring that up with the team. We may be bringing 1 or 2 more mages in on this.
If you have someone who can talk to plants, that might be helpful.
Yes. Our first thought is that she's about to turn 16, and at that point she becomes the Count's official heir. We were just wondering if there was anyone else who might become the official heir if she dies before she turns 16. But we really don't know. I mean, I was going to try to look into that when I got the chance, but you just shut up.
Let's see. It would be impertinent to speculate on the possibility that there are any other heirs
of
the Lavenel line.
Especially with the Count and his wife present in the room.
And sitting down to dinner.
Possibly one of his ancestors. Possibly there's an unknown branch on one of his ancestors. You know, family trees do fork sometimes.
Yes, but not into the
quite a bit.
Domain.
And one or two of the noble families I've seen around here, they wreath. Not in this case, though.
Sometimes if a branch isn't very healthy, the way to make it healthier is to prune a healthier branch. I don't know. Well, I wouldn't know. You know what? I'm not a druid, though. I'm just saying what I read somewhere.
Yeah, I thought that metaphor was a bit peculiar for the circumstances.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. So, yes.
I'm just talking out my hat.
If
Well,
you need a druid input, there is one.
Hmm?
Oh, just the fact that he had commented on not being a druid.
We may end up calling on you later for further consultation, provided you don't object.
But we are not in the pruning business.
I have no problem speaking to plants if it will get down to the seriousness of what is going on. I mean, I've already found, the horribleness of what has already been happening to the plants around here.
So demonic activity around here.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Of course, I wouldn't have been able to have sussed that out without Argyle. Just that.
And Argyle would be. Argyle would be, and he looks at the rest of the group.
That would be me.
Yeah, she would have actually kind of like motioned to him.
All right. Meanwhile, the Count, seeing the newcomer, sort of leans into his wife, and his wife asks, "Who's sitting next to her?" This could be the most perverse and obtuse way I've ever asked for party order before.
Wait, what?
Yeah, as opposed to who goes into the dungeon first. Well, the rogue
who's sitting where at the table. So,
Well,
in the
I
three
thought
positions
I'd leave that up to whoever's in charge of. I'll just,
So you want to know where we're sitting at the table?
Yes, let's go with that.
I suppose I would have sat.
Okay, you have three positions at one end of the table. The
Yeah.
Count, his wife, and his daughter are sitting there. Actually, his wife would be sitting at his right hand, his daughter at his left. And we already know Jilly is sitting at the opposite end of the table.
Yes.
I guess Tess is maybe sitting next to the daughter because she said she would protect her.
I'll sit wherever they'd like me to sit.
Has the most direct and... Okay, so that's two places.
Next to the fireplace where the minstrel is supposed to sit, I could sit there.
No,
So
at
we
the
can
moment
push
you're
him
dining
in?
with the rest of the group.
Yeah. It's
The Count's comment is, the occasion seems a bit too somber for music, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
unless it's in the minor key.
A loaf of bread, a chicken salad, and thou beside me, whistling in the darkness.
Let's see, how many people are we actually? Ooh.
I think there's 6 of us.
There's 6 now.
I think it would make most sense for Thagak Watson sitting next to the wife, because
Okay.
I would sit closer to the to Chili, because I just came a bit too late to sit on the opposite end of the table.
Well, basically, okay, so basically that makes the seating arrangement Jilly on the end, Argyle and Sarya sitting at her left and right hand, and Thagak and Tess sitting in the center of the table.
Yes.
So it's Julie that leans into Thagak and says, "Is he a friend of yours?"
Oh, the dragon?
Yes.
Exactly referring to me. Is who a friend of mine?
The
Warren.
gentleman that came. The gentleman, Warren. Warren? Yeah, the gentleman that came with me with the inspector.
Oh, yes, Warren. Okay. Well, that's the thing. Do I know Warren?
Well,
Yes.
presumably, as the story goes so far, you were going to meet him in the on Wagon Row at about that point when something happened and the rest of the group got carted off to adventure.
So, yes, in
Right.
other words, you
So,
do know.
so I was actually going to be meeting Warren. So I was actually waiting for Warren to come along when the crate dropped. Basically, is that right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So, oh, that's Warren. Dave, where do I know Warren from? Remind me.
Okay.
Visited
Warren-
my village at some point.
Right. There is a location on the map, which I don't have open at the moment. That is the sort of outpost that Warren grew up in,
Oh, right.
and
That's,
it is very close to Dry Hills' range.
wait a minute. I'm looking at the map here. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, right. It's called. Wait a minute. That's Nisa Amaroto. Blah blah blah. Let me zoom in a bit.
Nisea Imur.
Right.
Yes,
Warren's
Nisea Imur, which means the brown mirror.
Right.
Which is
Oh,
better
yeah.
than the brown note.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is something that Thagak can do.
Is that a feat?
Yeah, but I need to bring out the bagpipes.
I always thought that would be a very useful ability in just about any sort of dangerous situation.
There is one problem. Area of effect.
Yes.
Right.
No, that's where the feat comes from, where you can exclude certain people from the effect.
Right.
But only if you give them a potion ahead of time.
Brown note with excretion exclusion.
Yeah. Well, anyway, never mind.
Yeah,
The
this
point
is going strange
yeah.
places.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know him. I know him from Nisea Imur.
She nods to him, and he calls to Willem. Willem was not the butler that was on duty this afternoon.
Mhm.
Gentleman comes in. We need an extra place set. Let's put him between her and her. And so Andros and Willem, the night butler, sort of separate the places a little bit, tighten them on the daughter's end, on the daughter's side, meaning that Tess gets moved over in the one direction, Argyle gets moved over in the... No, Tess gets moved over... Yeah, Tess gets moved over the one way, Argyle gets moved over the other, and an extra place and chair are set there for
It's getting crowded.
Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Warren. It was a large table before. There's still enough room for everybody.
Mhm.
But this just satisfies someone's sense of OCD that now they're equally spaced on that side.
Right. It is considered gauche to have two gentlemen seated next to one another at table.
I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Well, as Warren is also a male, his presence does not improve the situation one iota. And as it turns out, dinner is delicious.
What is the
Why there's so many
inspector? No, the inspector sits opposite Warren. Is that true?
Well, no, the inspector will come back after dinner.
After dinner. Okay.
But he has brought Warren to the group, and now he can eat the same stuff everyone else does, except he wasn't expecting a dinner when he got here.
Mhm.
So that works out nicely. Anything in particular you want to bring up or do during dinner, beside eating?
Or ask why
Actually-
there are so many forks.
Okay. Is there... Actually, it's just occurred to me that the question, is there anything you want to bring up at dinner, is a very bad question.
Why's that?
I want one thing, but I don't say it out loud, but I think it. I'm going to send my raven after the inspector to keep an eye on him. See where he goes, what he does, and tell me later on.
Actually, if you maintain the mind link with your familiar.
I can only for 100 feet, so I'll
Yeah.
lose him soon, but when he comes back, he can tell me.
Right.
Puck is also following the inspector, only Puck is invisible.
Well,
May I make a passive observation roll
go ahead.
to see? Okay.
Well, if it's passive, you're not rolling.
Actually, hang on. What were you observing?
I'm just keeping an eye on the nobles to see if there's anything I can notice.
Okay, if you're looking for physical details, that would be perception. If you're looking for details of their relationship, that would be insight.
Okay. I'm going to go with insight since I actually have proficiency.
All right.
Warren will likely spend dinner talking with anyone who will talk with him, starting with the people immediately next to him, searching out any kind of interesting conversation whatsoever, without revealing anything at all about himself.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I would want to know about him, who he is.
Oh, this guy is very careful not to reveal anything about himself. Interesting.
Wait, who?
How revealing.
Who was Warren put
The
next to?
Warren is the Dragonborn Ranger from the Wasteland.
He's
Yeah,
between
but- Tess
Argyle
and-
and Tess.
between
No.
Tess and myself, so
Oh.
opposite you, actually.
I don't think I've ever requested having like a battle grid for where people are sitting at the
For
table
dinner.
before.
Well, I can't say this is the first time I've had to adjudicate social PvP.
So, but if Warren doesn't say anything about himself, I'm just going to ask Watson. So, who's your friend? Tell us a bit about him.
Oh boy, characters making up players making up details about each other's characters. This should be good. Crickets.
You and I go way back.
Yeah. Maybe that's how Warren suddenly decides to tell himself what he wants to be, what he wants to have revealed, because he knows that that Derek is not the most tight-lipped of persons until now. He was the one who spilled all the beans to the inspector in the first 5 seconds.
Well, no, he was the one that spilled the. No, he was the one that spilled the beans to the doorman, Andros.
And to the inspector. To the inspector also, Therak told him everything we know.
Everything?
Well, he's the
A lot.
inspector and he's from Duke. What, if we hold something out, that's not going to look good. Well, do you upbraid him at the dinner table about that? But other than that, I don't think I should say anything. But yeah, we're not talking. Are we talking about that at the dinner table? Come to think of it,
I'll leave that to you.
I'm not.
Well, anyway, we had an action on the table already, and before I forget about it,
Yeah.
Matt, did you want to roll your insight?
Yes. So
I knew we were doing
ing-
something constructive at the table.
I rolled active for the insight to see about
Mhm.
relationships,
Right.
and then I rolled a passive just to see if you want to spurt out
On
any information.
perception. Right.
But
Oh, there it is.
Well,
so I
you don't
rolled a
roll
17.
passive, though.
Oh, and my passive is 17 as well.
You don't roll on your passive. That's just taking 10 on your perception.
Ah. Well, I have a 17 because I'm observant.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the thing Jilly notices, the Count is maintaining a certain measure of confidence. He seems to be relatively at peace. He thinks he's in control of the situation. Whether he is or not remains to be seen.
Okay.
And what the situation is, well, that will have to be revealed over time. Candace is worried. She's nowhere near as confident as her father is that everything is under control.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Julie, the wife, well, she seems more resigned to things. She is not taking an active role in the conversation at the table. She seems to be just sort of letting things fall where they may.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right and left?
Let's see. To your left and right, you have Argyle and Saria.
And I will tell Saria, I'll kind of whisper my observations, and then a moment later, Argyle.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Or as my wife said, clowns to the left of me, jokers to my right. Here I am, stuck in the middle.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Now, what you two do with the information, that's up to you.
So wait, what observation was that? Because
The
I wasn't-
observation was the Count believes he is in control of the situation and things will work out, apparently.
Oh, I'm pretty
The
sure
daughter-
about that myself.
Yeah, the daughter is nowhere near as convinced. And the wife, her attitude can best be described as whatever.
Whatever.
She's sort of resigned, disengaged from the proceedings.
She's had her
More
Valium.
sort of just along for the ride.
How odd.
Yeah. That is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
How unmotherly.
wouldn't you have some sort of, I don't know, deeper feelings towards, I mean, I would assume some sort of other type of feeling. I mean, I see it in the animal world a lot more. I don't know about more customs and social situations. I would assume it's sort of similar.
Emmy, pontificating out loud?
Well, I would be whispering it to Argyle.
Okay.
It should be similar. I take a
Argyle
look.
is like the person that I bounce ideas off of because I don't people well.
I take a closer look at her to see if I can pick anything up. What makes her so passive? Can I pick that up in? Is there anything that gives me an impression, like maybe with medicine or something?
I'm not sure. Well, are you? That depends. Are you looking at her for medical issues, or trying to understand the way she thinks, or
That would be
considering her
insight.
personal history, or
No, trying to understand what makes her so passive in the face of an attempt on the life of her daughter.
well, okay. I don't think there's any one skill that will get you that information at this table.
Are her pupils really big?
No, they're not. She is not drugged.
Okay, so if she's not drugged, then I'm going to weave a spell
At the table.
at the table
Oh
because
boy.
For
it's
entertainment
just-
purposes.
it's just a verbal and with a gesture. Can I do that without being noticed?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
It depends upon what the verbal components are, and if them are very loud cuss words.
Now,
Then,
the
of
question
course,
is,
the somatic component. You put your thumb against your nose and waggle your fingers in the air. And then you
Classic.
blow a raspberry.
I was thinking of gesturing below the table with one hand in her direction.
please tell me it's not Mage Hand.
No, it's not. It's detect magic. I want to know if
Okay.
she's ensorcelled.
That's a good word.
Right.
I hear a lot.
Okay, so casting time on that is around 6 seconds, I believe, right?
It's one action, yes.
Yeah, one
so
action,
That's a bit
so-
less than 6 seconds, like maybe 4 or so.
Quietly mutter some non-standard language under your breath, gesture under the table, and you can see there is no magical effect on her.
By the way, I would also pick up any other magical effect within 30 feet of myself.
Within 30 feet of yourself.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I think you're going to get a ping from below, but other than that,
Is that a euphemism?
that is not a euphemism in this case. Something you detect a bit of a magical signature about 20-some feet down, almost at the edge of your perception.
Oh, what's cool? I would pick up what's cool it is.
Well, let's consider that for a moment. I'm going to call that. I'm going to look in the magic section and look it up properly. That is going to be. The magic section in here is very small. Spell casting.
Please not necromancy. Please not.
No, it is not necromancy. Nothing like necromancy.
Here it's to die for.
Or from. Conjuration.
Conjuration. Very odd. Interesting.
Huh.
So that's what's maybe going on behind closed doors from the kitchen.
Could be, possibly.
Okay.
That's a very deep basement if it is.
I'll file that away for the moment. But it doesn't tell me anything about her strange behavior.
No, it doesn't.
Frustrating. So I murmur to Saria, I really don't understand why she's so passive about it all.
Hmm. I do not know. I figure it would be impolite to ask why.
Oh, yes.
Oh, don't worry, comes the voice from down the table. It's because I don't think I can do anything about it.
Someone else is very perceptive.
Mhm. So, I am...
And I actually do say that out loud. I say, someone else is very perceptive. And have a little faith in yourself. I believe you may even know something without realizing you do. That kind of observation skill, oh, that's fantastic.
I'd like to believe that, but I'm not sure I can at this point. I have...
Actually,
Well, okay. I have this fear that whatever is going to unfold will unfold, and I can't do anything about it. But if I can't do anything about it, it's not really a fear, is it? If it's unavoidable, it's more of a dread.
Indeed.
Knowing that something is going to happen and I'm not going to like it.
There is a odd door in the kitchen. It appears to go perhaps to a cellar, but it locks on the wrong side.
Yeah. Yes, it's
Do
in the
you
pantry.
know anything about that?
From underneath,
No, I don't.
which is very concerning.
Indeed.
Well,
Now,
not
our
really.
host is the Duke, right?
Your host is the Count.
The Count.
Count Lavanel has invited you into his home for dinner, which you are now currently eating.
And he
And
has
talking
no...
between bites of.
All of
And
it.
he doesn't know about a secret entrance into his house. That's really...
I do not know of any secret entrance into my house. Well, I'd taken some measures when I moved into the house to make sure those any entrances that might otherwise be not noticed were either sealed up or closed off for our use. If there's a trap door, it's been a long time since I looked, but if there is a trap door in the... If there's a trap door from the cellar leading up into the kitchen, then there would be some way to get into there from the house, I'm sure. I just don't remember where it is right now.
That's the other question. Is it, if that trapdoor comes from elsewhere in the cellar, that would be one thing. But if it comes from outside, from like a tunnel or something, that would be another matter entirely.
Well, let's ask the staff.
Yes.
Old
Many
castles
things.
often have emergency escape routes. So, yeah, sometimes there are
This
tunnels
might have
that
been
lead
some. This
outside.
might have been something set up along those lines. Yes.
We should definitely check it out after dessert.
Yes.
And
Let's do that.
might I suggest securing a lock for our side? So if it is unlocked from the other side, any
Nothing
person
can come
attempting
out.
enter might be disappointed.
Well, but then we wouldn't find out nothing. It would be better if they were entering unsuspecting and be seen. And met.
Oh, that actually does give me an idea.
Oh.
We could string a wire and bells over it.
There's an idea.
Yes.
That way it can still be opened.
Something loud and tinkly.
Right.
Or we could open it and go down and see what's waiting underneath.
As I understand it, it's locked from the wrong side, is it not?
It is, but I will still be able to open it.
You will?
Ah.
We can get
Do
through
you
it.
have knock?
Yes.
Oh, such a beautiful spell.
Knock?
It might be a bit loud, but it will open the it will open the trap door.
Really?
He's like, of
Wizards have
course,
such
he
delightful
only uses it for good purposes.
Yes, of course.
Mhm.
He doesn't go around just using it to, creep into people's places and do bad things.
I should hope not.
Definitely not. As I
It would
said,
be-
it's loud.
It would be for breaking into evil strongholds and things like that.
Right. Dungeon delving,
Well-
things like that.
Well,
So,
that
but-
would be far better than my approach to getting us through that door, which would be freezing it until it's brittle and smashing our way through.
So, by your leave, if you allow us, then we will, after dessert, open the door.
Only too
That's,
happy if it gets to the bottom of the mystery.
It would get us to the bottom, all right. Let's see. Just a moment.
To
He
make
rings
an
that little.
urgent telephone call.
This
Yeah,
reminds me very little of the time my father and I went out to the.
Next time his butler comes and he says, Willem, clear some space in the kitchen. We'll be going on an adventure after dessert.
But the butler wasn't expecting that.
Butler just sort of the butler's expression just very, very careful, doesn't change in the slightest. Very good, sir.
Like,
Actually, are you watching for reaction?
I
Yes.
Well, actually, yes. Why not? Should I roll or just do a passive perception check?
Go ahead and roll,
Go ahead and
Rolling's
roll.
more fun.
because this is not about passive perception. This is
That's
about
not a
insight.
good roll at all. Let me just see. Oh wait, was it insight?
Insight.
Okay, then I got a 7.
Mm.
I got
All I can tell about him is that he's probably in the middle of a poker game and has a great hand.
19, so
Well, there you go.
I'm sitting in a better spot for it. I see his face.
Yeah, you see his face. Thagak doesn't get the nuance of his expression, but you see the eyebrow tick up. There is something interesting in this instruction.
Yes,
Mhm.
he longs to ask, but he knows that it's not in his job description.
No, there's maybe some hidden meaning in the instruction.
Yes, is there a meaning in that eyebrow twitch, or do I overinterpret?
Now, Argyle's impression is that the instruction means something
Mhm.
special to the butler.
oh, uh-oh.
Hide the bodies.
Yeah. Clear out our sex cellar.
He does seem like the sort of guy who'd have a sex dungeon.
Oh,
Hide
God.
everything.
This
Hide
is-
everything before dessert.
I really
I
want
was-
this to be a thing somewhere in this game. There needs
That
to be
okay?
sex dungeons somewhere in this game. It needs to be.
How to put this? I can't rule it out, but I hadn't planned it for this set.
Maybe not this set, but it needs to pop up somewhere. I swear to God. With this group, it needs to pop up somewhere.
Pardon me, Count, but
Yes?
why does this rack have leather cuffs that are lined with fur?
How very strange.
Yeah, I just smile at the fact that we're going to check it out after dessert, and I smiled to myself and said, "Well, it's a good thing someone made a light dessert, right?"
And it is rather a light dessert. Dinner continues. Anyone else doing anything interesting to the conversation? Oh, chat.
Innocently, I ask the noble family, so what have you been up to this month? And I'm going to roll a persuasion and see if I can get them to say more than they might normally.
All right. Trying to lubricate the conversation, knowing that there is white wine in that dessert.
Exactly.
So give me that roll. Number, please.
14.
14? Yeah, I'll count that as enough. The details you get from Candace, well, Candace talks up the upcoming party, trying to find some, researching some interesting games to play at it. And no, this does not tie into the previous conversation. Not in chat, no, it doesn't.
God, I hope it's not that kind of family.
Right. There is also some talk, and Julie mentions that there is some chance, a fairly good chance, in fact, that the family will be moving out of Nelforge and into a proper castle elsewhere in the Umbrell territory, outside of Nelforge, where they would tend to a town of their own.
Oh, really? Do you know who would benefit from this power vacuum?
Benefit from us not moving out there? I don't think really anybody, because the territory has sat vacant for, well, okay, the castle has sat vacant for some time. I hear it's somewhat small as the larger castles go, but for a count, it is just right. And the townsfolk there have been making do under the Duke's very indirect auspices. They could probably benefit from some more direct guidance.
So the Duke's indirect influence, I suppose that's through a mayor or caretaker?
Yeah, there is a burger operating there now, but there is not a any nobility giving him direction. So the town, whatever is out there, is currently growing out in whatever way it sees fit. This may not be a good way for it to go. We may have to do some cleaning up when we get there. That's what I gather.
Precisely. And that burger would benefit by you not going out there.
Well, I suppose he would, yes.
Excellent. Do you mind if I ask one of your servants to collect information about the burger?
Yeah, certainly you can do that.
Excellent.
I keep hearing burger.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Wrong kind of burger.
Burgher.
By the way, did Andros, when we talked to him before, did he say anything interesting about Willem?
Well, he was one of the staff that moved into this house with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So he's longer with the family than the rest.
Actually, he is among the longest with the family.
Okay.
Yes. So when he says we're going on an adventure after dessert, that probably means something. He's saying, "Oh, here we go again."
So he might be the one who is in on the secret pleasures of the Count.
Okay.
No, I think we've already ruled out there is not a sex dungeon in the Count's basement.
So,
Not this Count.
Wait, we've ruled out that there isn't one?
Not this time.
I wouldn't count it out.
yeah. So anyway, it makes it less likely that he's a traitor when he's so long with the family.
Yes, that's probably true.
I'm sorry. So much. May I be excused from the table for a moment?
Certainly.
Okay. I walk past. Oh, great! I'm drawing a blank on her name. The young woman who's targeted.
Candace.
I walk past Candace. I kind of clap her on the shoulder, and
Okay, who is this again?
Billy
Jilly.
Yeah.
is doing this. Yep,
Okay, Jilly is doing this, clapping whose shoulder?
Candace.
What stool did you jump on to do this?
She's
sitting down, it's
I'm
okay.
standing up. No problem. And I ask her how she's enjoying the food so far, and
Oh, the food is delicious.
much more quietly.
Yeah, the conversation's a little harder to follow.
And much more quietly, I
Mhm.
say, pass on to your father that I think the cook knows something, but I'm not sure what.
What did we get about the cook from him? From Andros.
From Andros, yes.
Not much, but I observed that
No.
was
No.
No, we got a list.
Saria and Argyle talked to Andros outside in the stables, and he told them stuff about all of the people in the house.
Gossip.
Ooh, right. Now, okay, there were two staff specifically came with them to the house when they moved in 12 years ago. That was Willem, the night butler, and Antilia, the household manager. Shortly after that, Celestia was brought in as a cook. Persegua was brought in as the was brought in as a chambermaid day and night, and then eventually made the night chambermaid.
Promotion.
Mm-hmm. And Iskaban, a personal assistant, was brought in after them. Most of the other staff had just been brought in 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some turnover.
What was the name of the night chambermaid again?
The night chambermaid is Persegua. P-E-R-S-E-G-O-A. I'm still nailing down the phonetic patterns for names in this campaign.
Hey, your names never disappoint, David, no matter what game you're in.
Speaking of names, I think I have the title for this episode. Dinner Party, Hold the Sex Toys.
Yes.
Speaking of sex toys, I wrote Willem, Night Butler, longest with the family. So.
Wow.
So now we are PG.
12-year-olds, a lot of us.
Of course.
No, PG is that little bip in the rearview mirror. Yeah.
We ran over that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. It made the most satisfying squeal.
Yes. Well, actually, depending on the type of satisfying squeal, that might have been P13 that we passed. Not really.
Did it sound like it enjoyed it a little bit?
No, absolutely not.
You know, John, you can mouth that you don't know any of these people, but we have multiple videos of you hanging out with us. So.
Yes. Oh,
It's amazing
David.
how slowly you get to know some people.
Sidebar?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do I pass any of these NPCs on my way to or from the bathroom? And let me know
Oh,
if
there
I
it
get
is.
any
Yeah.
pings off my passive.
Passive 17? Wow.
Yeah. I took a feat to be wicked good.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
That's why you spotted the box first of everyone.
Could very well be. Makes the best reason.
Mm-hmm.
And going to and from the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually not seeing many of the household staff.
Dun, dun, dun.
Uh-oh.
They're
Okay.
eating. They're in the break room.
They are all tied up in the basement, probably.
I told you, we're not doing the sex dungeon this set. Wow. 12-year-olds,
Okay.
a lot of us. Yeah. So, dinner concludes.
Mhm.
Dessert finally get.
I do mention when I come back that it was I was surprised not to see anyone on my way to or from.
No, this is a largish house.
But not large enough.
They could have
Yeah, I
been
was
off doing
trying
other
to-
things.
Just trying to test if that was unusual.
Let's see. Chambermaid, and some people might be upstairs getting your rooms ready for this evening.
Mm.
You were going to spend the night, were you not?
Yes. Thank you for the invitation.
I wouldn't miss it.
Especially if we're going on some sort of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the, let's see, Celestia would have been busy in the kitchen. You shouldn't have to pass the bathroom to see her. Now, you shouldn't have to pass the bathroom to get a... No, going to the bathroom is not the best way to look in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Willem is probably assisting with the dishes, either filling them for service or getting them cleaned out.
Mm-hmm.
Other people have things to do around here when we are dining.
Awesome.
That everybody has something to do is an indication of a well-run household, or so I believe.
Best not to be observed sitting idle.
True. Although relaxation does have its values.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've heard that idle hands do the infernal's work.
Nevertheless, there's another word for people who don't have a household function. That would be freeloaders.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be that.
Certainly not. Yeah, I'll do what I want. Very informal gaming group here. Yeah.
Okay, so the dessert, long awaited,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't disappoint, I expect.
Yep. It does not disappoint. Sabayon is essentially a sort of gelatin with wine with wine mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jello shots.
Well,
Much more refined, but otherwise, yes.
so
I poke it.
It jiggles seductively for food.
I just have to tell you that that might not be very good for one of my flaws.
Oh,
You like gelatin?
No, it's just that I enjoy delights just a little too much now. Like now that I'm back in the people world.
Mhm.
so you're suggesting Saria may overindulge?
It's possible.
I'd say it's more than just possible. You have 3 or 4 dishes of the stuff, almost greedily. You may be a little off on the adventuring parts later this evening, but you know what else? You get an inspiration. Mark it.
Oh, awesome.
Remember how that works. You can use that to cancel disadvantage or gain advantage on one roll.
Yes.
Right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
David,
Yes.
now I remember my character made ginger snaps for dessert.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the cook specifically said she wasn't planning a dessert. So does this strike me as odd, or was that just you didn't remember that I made
That could be me not remembering, but you started the ginger snaps. She did go for the white wine to put together the sabayon.
Okay.
And she did so, and they go together fairly well.
Mm.
Yeah, it's delicious. This stuff is great, you guys. Oh my god.
all right. Well,
I'm just watching her pack away food, just a little slack-jawed, torn between, oh my god, why isn't she savoring this food? And, well,
I
she
say,
really likes the food.
He's enjoying it.
very lastly, yes, Saria, dear, if you slow down a little bit, you might remember to taste it.
But I am. It's amazing. It's like an explosion in my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting
Well, sort of to
observation.
distract our hosts away from this display of table manners such as I'm more familiar with back out in the dry hills.
I think I'd call it gustatory enthusiasm. That
Yes.
makes it sound nice.
Yes. Nevertheless, gustatory throws, sort of, it's like, like the old saying, I'd offer seconds, but I'm afraid I might lose a hand.
Yeah.
I'll just say, this reminds me very little of the time, and I go into a funny story. So, Oh, let me just check. Let me think. It would be. Well, I guess it would be. It would be performance above all else. I'm just
Okay.
gonna. I'm not gonna go all out. But taking 10 on it would give me a total of 12.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it. I'm just trying to entertain the table, but the hosts in particular, but the table in general.
Putting the table into a good mood,
When
I
I say
gather.
12, it would be a 14.
Because proficiency, right?
Yes, because proficiency.
Yeah, that'll get the table into a good mood after dinner and dessert.
Yes.
Not that Saria needs help.
Right. But as I say, it's actually going to be, I think, one of my standard segues into a story is to say, this reminds me very little of the time, etc. It's like a catchphrase of mine.
Right. And well, just to complicate things a little, John, this might be a challenge for you, but rather than just say this reminds you of a time when very little of a time when blah blah blah,
Yes.
could you write up a few of those blah blah blahs for me?
I will. I can do that.
I'll give you. Yeah, and as they're kind of worked into a personality trait, that makes them inspiration worthy.
Right. A good story. It'll probably have something to do with yeah.
It doesn't have to be right now.
I'll write up a couple of them for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So John has a route to several inspirations laid out for him. All it takes is a bit of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Saria's got one on deck. Jilly's got one on deck. Remember, this is what you get from playing your characters. Just bringing that up for no good reason.
So we are now everybody in good mood. That's maybe the best moment to start on our little adventure before anyone can tip anyone off or something.
Capital. Now let's go down there and see if we can find the trap and set it off and get caught in it. Just for fun.
Wonderfully.
Go.
Let's everyone.
After hearing that, I pale a little. After you, I say to the wizard.
Actually,
Fine.
I may have to insist on a brief break. Going into the basement, dressed like this.
Right.
Understandable. Yes.
Switch into my adventuring gear.
Yeah, indeed.
And if you have your see, your bags should have been moved into rooms upstairs. If you'd like to repair to the rooms to change your attire before we embark on this quest for something. Now, I don't remember what we're going to find down there. It's been a while. It's been about 12 years since I've been down there.
Probably nothing.
I don't like that, I must say. I agree.
Should just take a minute or two to change clothes, and I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Julie, were you coming down with us? Drew and his wife just sort of... I don't think so. No, I
think I'm going to leave the loot in my room. I'm not taking it down into possible danger.
Right.
And the bagpipes, too.
At least not until you get the flame-throwing ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to...
I heard loot and mentally spelled it L-O-O-T, so I was confused for a minute.
Yeah.
Bad adventurer habit, I understand.
So, yeah, Warren, what's your proficiency in adventuring matters?
A little of this, a little of that. I tend to find things.
Find things.
And
Are you
like weak points?
That could
Or
come in handy.
Gold.
Loud, quiet.
Mhm.
Okay.
The silence is deafening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So then let's.
The Count, by the way, comes down wearing what amounts to, well, I guess the medieval equivalent of a set of coveralls,
Right.
a breastplate, and carrying a rapier.
A rapier.
Cool.
Oh, nice. Well then.
Yeah, this thin little thwippy of a sword.
Hmm.
Did
It's
we
so
gather?
tiny.
Did we gather all of our things, or just stuff that would be useful in a
What are-
basement?
What are you bringing with you into the basement? And this might be a more proper time to ask, what's the marching order? Given that Argyle is going to have to be first in the kitchen anyway, because he's the only one in the group with knock.
Exactly.
Right. Well,
I'll be right there.
I'll be right after him.
I would be
I'll
close
fight you
by.
for it.
You know, Argyle's kind of a safety blanket.
And let me know, by the way, if I spot anything, any exotic lettering carved into walls or anything. It's unlikely here. It's probably just a sewer or something, but, you know,
I don't think it's a sewer.
I'm keeping my eyes open for anything written.
I should hope it's not a sewer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really
Right out of the
awkward.
kitchen. That would say something about the cuisine here, but
Oh, let's see. One or two other cats I can throw among the pigeons, so to speak.
Mhm.
okay.
Argyle, while you're up in your room changing out of your dinner, or are you going up to your room to change clothes?
I'm quickly going up to fetch my dagger that I didn't bring with me to the dinner.
And you don't have anything resembling armor outside of robes, do you?
No, I don't.
Hmm.
By the way, for what it's worth, just so we're all on the same page here, I have knock too.
Oh,
Really?
did I
This
not
is-
record that properly?
The party knocks twice.
Oh, actually, yeah, so you do. Bard and Wizard. I went
Okay.
through and made a list of what spells everybody has.
Right.
Now, Jilly isn't on this list yet because I just got hers today, but very soon that'll be added and cut in, and I shall have full spell information on the entire party. Might come in handy later.
Warren will take up the rear. He's carrying his battle axe with his long sword sheathed at his side.
A battle axe.
Anyway, you
With the
do
long
go up.
sword sheathed inside the battle axe?
No, at his side.
Yes,
Right,
little
okay.
long sword armor just in case and all of that.
Actually, that would be an interesting arrangement. You pull
Yes.
the battle axe off of your shoulder, then you grab the hilt and pull, and there's a sword.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would be very interesting.
His chain shirt is under his outfit, so you really can't see it.
Okay. So, what do we see
Yeah, there was that-
inside
actually,
the
that-
kitchen?
No, that's right. There was that one other thing. You get up to your room
Oh, yeah.
to get your dagger, and then go back downstairs.
Mhm.
This is about when you hear a tapping
Oh, where from? From the window?
from the window.
Is it?
no.
Yes, it
Croc?
is.
The
Is it a
wine.
raven?
Okay.
Oh, the Raven.
Mhm,
So I let him in,
mhm.
and yeah, I'm interested in what he has to tell me.
Yeah. He went. Okay. He went west toward to one of the buildings outside the even bigger castle.
Hmm.
That sounds like that does sound like the Duke's territory.
So and that's it. So no
Well, okay.
nowhere else.
Well, okay. How well does Acock read?
Good question. He's a spirit. How good do spirits read?
Well, there's a good question. As well, while they're trying to push for 100% literacy in Elforge someday, they're not there yet. So the building that the guard resides in does have a prominently displayed shield with an obvious logo, and that's the image you get of the building that ACOG flashes to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it seems like if he's not an actual investigator, he does work very closely with the guards, enough so to enter the building unmolested.
Okay, that gives me more confidence in him than his papers, actually.
Right. Let's see. Warren, you're going to, well, you're not going to get the knocking at the door. You're just going to feel the sudden presence of Puck right near you, flashing you much the same information, with the single addition that there was a raven following him.
Interesting. I asked Puck to stay in the room with the rest of our gear and be ready to move at a moment's notice.
All right.
Okay. Yes, I'm also asking Akok to stay in the room because I don't need him underground.
That's probably a good idea.
So, yeah, what do we see in the kitchen when we get down there?
Well, the wife, Julie, is not there. The Count is there, dressed down for some form of adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter is there, dressed the way she was at dinner, so there's an implication that she's not going down into the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say something if you tried, but never mind.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So
She doesn't know how to defend herself yet. So
also she's probably the target, so that would be not so good. Bringing the target to the front lines. So, yes, then I advise everyone to keep the ears covered because there will be a loud knock. And then I take a look at the trapdoor and open it. And there is a loud knock that, yeah, it's audible for 300 feet, as I read.
So it reverberates through the entire house.
Yes.
Or very nearly all of it.
Kadoom. And then the trapdoor is open.
And then you hear the click of a latch shifting underneath.
So then I step behind the trapdoor and open it, presenting the way for whoever wants to go down the trapdoor first, because that will not be me.
Okay, what is the marching order?
I'll go first. That's what shields are for.
I'll be right there too. I want first look at everything here.
So you're jockeying for position.
When the bard moves up to second, you hear a little ahem. Do you mind if I'm parallel with the warrior? I would actually like to be able to see.
Fine.
Fine. So if you have pole arms, they go over my head quite nicely.
If you have long arms, they go over her head quite nicely.
Yeah, he does.
Warren will take up the rear.
Mm-hmm. The order so far is Tess and Jilly, Thagak, the Count, something, Warren.
Oh yeah, something should be Saria and myself.
Makes sense.
Right, and who's got the light source, and what is it?
Count.
The Count is not a light source.
Yeah, we shall.
I could have brought one of my torches.
You know, we should take some lanterns because we are in the house of a count. We should not put soot all over the place. We are.
Good
It's a. They probably have lanterns.
Well,
I
what,
don't
he,
have a
what
lantern.
Okay, what the Count calls out is, Celestia, if Kentok is still up, tell him we'd like 3 lanterns from the shed, please. Problem solved.
Go.
Perfect.
And you get 3 hooded lanterns to distribute among your party the way you see fit.
I'll take one.
Let's.
I'll take one.
Yes,
Need your
exactly.
sword
both
and
hands.
shield. I can.
And one in the back that should be Warren then.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just what I was gonna say.
Okay, so with light, you can now see the sort of straggly stairs going down.
All right.
Huh.
How far?
Proceed.
There
Reckless
is a
abandon.
there is a bit of debris at the bottom of the stairs, but that is easy enough to sort of step over or push out of the way.
Once we get enough light, what is the nature of the room?
The nature of the room is it is sort of what you might call neglected finished basement.
No skeletons?
No skeletons.
All right. So far, so good.
So no 4-poster bed or something.
I told you we're not doing that this set.
King's Cross.
You gotta work up to that first.
But yeah, it's you told us, but it's good to see it that you didn't lead us on. So now we see with our own eyes that you really told us the truth, and everything is fine down here.
Yeah, there is a way going. Okay. Essentially, you're sort of filtering into a 10 by 10 room. There are exits to what I'm going to call the north and the west.
Does this look like part of the basement proper, or is it something else?
It does look a bit like the basement proper, but it looks okay. It looks like it was once part of the basement of the house, but it was closed off.
Okay. One thing I want to keep an eye out for is doorways that have been bricked up that might lead to the rest of the basement. And because mainly I'll be interested in knowing when that was done, how long it.
Right. Let's see. Skill for that. I would like to make craft, but there is no craft skill of that sort. So you know what? That's sounding like more investigation.
It does sound like that.
Mm-hmm. So, John, would you like to make an investigation roll for Thagak?
Why not? Let's have a look.
Because you don't have proficiency in it and don't have
No,
the
there
highest
is
intelligence.
Yes,
You did ask why not.
right. Okay. Well, what the heck? Okay. Jack of all trades gives me a total +1 there, and that's 7. So no, I don't notice anything in particular.
Not in particular, no.
Someone else with higher investigation should probably be able to get it.
I reckon I have some.
Well, everybody has some. Question is, do you have the wisdom, the int to support it, and do you have proficiency?
I rolled a 22.
Well, I'm not going to
I
bother.
will take that as a yes.
If I rolled a 20, I'd get a 19. So I'll let you have your 22.
Well, there that is, yeah. You go in, okay, you're looking around this basement, and while it does look like a neglected and abandoned portion of the underneath of this house, left as it was after construction long ago, it does look as if it's been disturbed.
Sort of announce to the group at large that something looks disturbed in here.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, let's keep looking around.
I ready my hand.
Okay. The disturbance seems to be fairly evenly distributed in this room, the west way, the north way.
Kind of in the general direction of Alderaan.
Yeah, kind of in the basement just seems generally disturbed. Which way are you going?
North. Impulsively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tess heads off in that direction. Everyone else following?
Sure.
Right up.
Give the party every opportunity to split itself. Given time, well, it's just a matter of time now, really, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But not in the first
It'll
room.
happen.
You can have two small
Okay,
groups.
you sort of go north from there. You come into another room that has two barrels in it. An exit to the east, an exit to the west.
Oh, goodness.
Are the barrels sealed or open at the top?
Pardon. They are closed at the top.
Uh-huh.
Let's
I
open one
knock the barrel with my staff. Does it sound hollow?
It sounds hollow.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Rock it a little bit to see if it's empty or if there's something in there.
It sounds empty.
Okay, leave it then.
You don't hear anything sloshing or sliding around in there.
Right. Plus switch, there's a question of how heavy it is. I'd be able to tell something about if it was really heavy, it would be harder to rock it. So if it rocks easily enough, that'll mean it's probably almost certainly.
It rocks pretty easily.
Yeah, it's empty then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, west is now the best way to go.
Okay. Tess heads west.
Seems we're following.
Mm-hmm.
This woman knows what she's doing.
I'm following my nose,
Mm-hmm.
metaphorically. Can't speedrun the dungeon.
Apropos of nothing, the alignments of the party. Well, one is lawful. Okay, on the lawful, neutral, chaotic scale, one is lawful, one is neutral, the rest is chaotic. Who's who? I leave as an exercise for you lot. You go west, and
I
there.
think we sussed out one of the chaotics.
Oh, for it.
What?
Call it a hunch.
Characters do I usually play?
Okay, you go west. You're pretty sure you're getting farther under the house now, and you see in this particular room, there have been some. Looks like there is a tool belt hanging on one wall. A pack of playing cards. Looks like a workman left some stuff here, and that hasn't been disturbed for the past 12 years.
Is that under the dining room?
It's under the dining room, but it's not far enough down.
Ah.
Hmm.
Are there any places on the ground that could be more trapdoors or things like that?
Not in here that you're seeing. Let me also tell you there are ways out to the north, the way east you came in, the south, and here it looks like something has been very heavily covered up to the west. It looks, okay, that looks like the back side of a finished wall. To which the Count says, some of the servants' quarters are in the basement, If we break through that wall, we might reach into their space. Which I'm not objecting to if it's part of the course of the adventure.
I have a mechanical question, just in case it becomes important.
Okay.
When would I use passive intelligence versus passive wisdom?
When you'd use passive intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, let's see. Oh. When remembering details off the top of your head, perhaps? Let's see. This might be a good time to check the PHB on just that sort of matter.
Well, they
that's
don't really have a passive
for me.
wisdom anymore, it looks like.
Because my observant kicks into that as well.
Oh, unless they say that.
Actually, you know what? There are not spells, not equipment.
From the entrance, did you say there was an exit to the north and then an exit to the west?
There is an exit. There is an exit to the north. There is an exit to the west, which you just came in through. There is an exit to the south, and there is the backside of a finished wall to the east.
I'm making a map now. I meant like when we came down the trapdoor.
When you came down the trapdoor, there were routes to the north and east, north and west. Pardon me.
Oh, good. I was right. Yay.
Yeah, when you went forward to the north, there were routes to the west, east, and south the way you came. Then you went west, and now there are routes to the north, west the way you came, east the way you came, south, and to the west is that finished wall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe the map is starting to get a little funny in my mind, so
So if we go south, we should meet the way that was the western way from our starting point.
So
So there should be a circle, maybe.
which way is Tess going?
I will go south to hopefully arrive in the room that would have been west from the trapdoor.
It appears you do so.
Yes! I'm so good at this.
This room is vacant. Well,
okay.
there is a jar of what look like nails in the corner.
Oh, and before we leave that room, there is one thing I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I take the deck of cards.
Yes.
And
they're very dusty.
Dust it off.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the cards and see if there are any specific cultural icons or notes. I'm familiar with Draconian, Gnomish, and Halfling, as well as Common.
As well as what?
Common.
Okay. This looks like well, in this case, literally common deck of playing cards.
How old is it?
It is about it's a design that has gone back 30 or 40 years.
Right. Okay. So yeah, they were 34 years ago. They were still using cards like, so it's at least that old. It might be older than that.
Well, okay. The design has been in use ever since. Judging by the dust on them, they're at least 12 years old.
Oh,
if they're well preserved, I will pocket them. If they are falling apart, I will not.
They are fairly well.
They're still in the cellophane.
No cellophane, but they are well preserved. This has been a dry environment.
Excellent. I pocket it.
Mm-hmm.
halflings are not thieves. Just put it
Right.
that-
I'm sure that you have that.
Yoink!
They are borrowers.
Yes. I'll put it back somewhere someday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the only other door is back to the trapdoor room. There's nothing to the west or south.
There is something to the west.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
well. I think I want to go that way now.
Okay, so you're going to the west again, and you come to a. There is a door there. In the style of the basement, not the style of the house above.
Okay. I open the door.
You open the door,
As one.
and there is what looks like a closet in there.
Huh.
It is partially collapsed. It looks like there is a bit of the house that maybe settled a little too hard onto one of those walls, and it looks like it's busted in. There's a little dirt coming in that way.
Well, this is a boring closet.
Wait, is that,
well,
is that the...
Look familiar, Your Grace?
You know, there were some structural issues when we first moved into the house, and this is reminiscent of that.
Is that the front door of the closet, or is that a side door? And is there another door in the closet?
That's only the one door in the closet, and that just leads to dirt, basically.
So
Dirt and
that-
failure.
So that means there is a tunnel underground that terminates in a closet.
Seems to mean that, yeah.
And that's odd.
Unless someone else wants to look around in here.
Yeah. Let's see if there are any traps or secret doors or something. Who knows how to do that? Is there a
Okay.
skill?
As dungeoneering is no longer a skill,
I just read the difference
None of us
between
have it.
passive intelligence and passive wisdom.
Okay.
Passive wisdom is to spot hidden things, whatever is, trying to be hidden specifically. Passive intelligence is investigation based and is more of noticing things like traps, trapdoors, and subtle shifts in grade of a slope, things like that.
very handy sounding.
Yes, and that's 15 as opposed to 17.
Investigation based. Okay. How is that calculated?
It is 10 plus your intelligence bonus, plus whatever bonus you may get from feats you picked up, like Matt did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something I should put on the sheet I'm setting up here.
Okay. So, but if I have proficiency in investigation, does
If
that
you
give
have-
me more? So, because
At
the,
your level,
my
that'll give you
passive,
+2, another +2 on it.
Yeah,
Essentially, yeah.
another +2. That would put me to 15. Okay.
it's a nice roll.
Just so I have this information, what is everybody's passive intelligence and wisdom?
You mean passive intelligence and wisdom rolls?
No, passive intelligence and wisdom. It's a value that is 10 plus your interwiz bonus.
In my case, my passive intelligence is even up, is +0.
Yeah.
For wisdom, it's +1.
Do we add the proficiency if we're proficient in those two
Yes, you would.
categories? Okay.
That's for saving throws anyway.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between saving throws and then like the skill checks.
Yes. So passive wisdom is 10 plus wisdom bonus, right?
Yep.
Yes, that's 12. And passive intelligence would then be 15, if it's investigation based.
Okay. Oh, okay, they're being posted there. Let's see, hers is 10 and 11. His is... that and that. Saria has... okay, she's figuring it now.
We can't hear you, Henry.
You're muted.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was screaming.
Sorry.
Ah.
I was talking to him, the baby, not you guys.
So we have some very observant people in the group.
And let's see if we find any secret exits from that closet, because I think...
Or maybe it's collapsed, or maybe there's something in the basement that is collapsed on the other side.
maybe, but we should still be able to find it, I think.
Okay. I am going to call this, if you're gonna move some debris out of the way, who wants to make the strength test for me?
Me, I can do that.
I can do one too, but
I might suck, but I can try.
well, I'm not bad at strength actually.
I have sensitive hands. I don't. I
Oh,
don't
for
shift.
crying out loud! I sort of just step up right up to it and start in on it.
Okay, give me a strength save, or strength test, as it were, in this
21.
case. "21. That is good enough to
Dang.
That is good enough to start shifting it. Now, here's the problem. You shift it enough that you can see that behind the dirt, there is more dirt. And the way the load is shifting in your hands, this might very well be a spot where a collapse was starting to happen.
And they
if we
filled
go
it in
on?
with dirt to stop the collapse.
Right, and it sort of shifted. It sort of shifted now that you've moved it. Give me a dexterity save, but you have advantage on this roll because you made the strength test well enough not to get caught in the impending collapse.
Don't
okay,
collapse.
so let's see. Dexterity save is right. It's my
Dexterity save is going to be +3 because you have proficiency in that.
right, and I have advantage on it.
And you have advantage, so 2d20, take the better one.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because with my +3, I got 5.
And what's
On the other hand, with a +3, that gives me 16.
that's better.
And then
Yeah,
the whole
it's-
mouse collapses.
Yeah, it's then that whole portion of that closet sort of fills itself in, and looks like one of the pavers from the front walk lands in the closet there as well.
Ouch.
I go,
Uh-oh.
oh dear.
But you weren't hit by it, and that's the important thing in this case.
And then I look at it, and then I turn around and look at the counts and say, do you have an opening for a groundskeeper?
We have a man already. He was the one that brought us the lanterns.
Well,
Thanks for offering.
Well, I made an opening for him.
So you did.
Sorry about that.
You know, adventure. Well, you know, I knew this was a dangerous job when I undertook it.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I just thought there might be something on the other side of that, but it turns out all there is more dirt.
Hmm. All right. We may have to revisit this in the future. Just because there's more space down here, if it can be shorn up better without damage to the house above, this might be reclaimable.
Well, yeah.
At the time, I don't think we were doing
It
that.
looks like that came. It looks like that was under the front walk. So, so at least it wasn't. At least I didn't kick out one of the foundations.
Interestingly, James, technically that would be in a future set.
He has plans. Okay.
Plan, there's that. Oh my.
Well,
Yeah, that leaves the way to the, let's see, one or two openings you hadn't checked yet, and one of those was to the north from one of your previous rooms, and one of them was to the east from one of your previous rooms.
that is pretty much what I have.
So
go
good,
back-
I'm keeping the map straight.
Yes. But instead, to foil you, I will go north the one room and then west the one room because there was a west exit that way too.
North exit, I think.
Well, there's that too, but
Well, you have to go west the one, I believe you have to go west first from this closet to get to the room where you could go east, west, or north.
so if we were kind of here,
Whoa, great.
I'm
And if
glad someone's doing mapping.
well, since I was running around, I didn't want to say, well, what were the exits to this room? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Ah.
I want to go this way. Fog of War, be lifted.
Isn't that the one with the boarded up backside of a wall?
Maybe I missed that.
So that the servants' quarters are in that left of this green square here. So here, yes, where the plus now is. I think that's where the servants' quarters are. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so it wasn't actually like an exit there.
No.
Right,
So here
there
was a
wasn't an
table.
exit there.
A table with
If you want to break
cards.
through a wall there, you
Wall.
could.
I don't want to break through a wall. That's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. Let's go north then.
Well, given that you have caused, given that the party on the whole has caused one little collapse already, I can see not wanting to break through a wall.
Yeah.
Let's split up. We can do more damage that way.
Hey kids, today's vocabulary word is load-bearing members.
Let's not.
Does anyone have blasting powder? I think we can do this more efficiently. Boom.
So yeah, I'm gonna go
He's
north.
moving soon anyway.
Demolitions is not a skill currently.
Should be.
Of the three exits you have, north from room C, we'll call it, east from room B, and out from room A. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking I need to start labeling what you're calling the rooms now too. I was gonna go north.
Okay, you're going to go north from the finished wall room, the back at the finished wall room.
Yes.
And you go that way. And there is a room there pretty much packed with debris.
Oh.
Absolutely packed. Are there any other?
It looks like old construction materials, old sacks, old crates that held all sorts of different things, and a fair amount of detritus were just sort of shoved into this room.
It's a junk room.
Seems to be.
Any
Right.
other exits?
No, there aren't. In fact, you can barely get into that room because of all the stuff in it.
Uh-huh.
Are there any tools in there in usable condition?
Well,
I was gonna say
Poking.
Jilly can fit in there, climb all over everything.
barely.
Better than I
And
can.
it would be a shifting mess to crawl around on.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
can do
to
that.
crawl on it. If I see it through holes in the shifting stuff, I'm not going to go for it. But
Here, I'll
if
give you
it's like within easy reach, sure.
Just climb on my shield here, and I'll launch you in there.
Yeah. Best idea ever. I don't see what could possibly go wrong.
Trying to get us up to a...
But barring that,
Just looking for a place to have a proper conclusion for today's episode, and I don't think we're quite there yet. As it stands, there is only one other way you can go from here, and that would be that one room to the east, north of where you came in. And there is actually kind of a longish corridor there with broken stonework on the walls.
It goes away from the house.
It goes away from the house.
Like someone tunneled into it from elsewhere.
you know what I like about this? I like that without really intending to, I did the let's make sure we cover all the possible paths before we go the actual main quest route. Because there's nothing more I hate than having a side room that's unexplored.
Because that's usually where the bad guys come from.
Well, just tell me one thing, and it would be a fairly simple thing to establish with investigation, but don't even need investigation to at least see this much. Those stone walls, were they broken in from the inside or the outside?
They were broken in a bit from the outside.
Somebody tunneled up to this wall and broke through it.
Zooks.
I turn to the count. I say.
Except that...
basically, this was broken from the other side.
And he sort of pokes at the dirt and seems to be fairly well filled in. Up the corridor a ways. This would be something Thagak would notice fairly quickly, being sort of second in the order and having, I think, dark sight.
Yeah, dark sight for sure.
Mm-hmm. There's something moving ahead.
In fact, I'll even sort of put up my hand, and say, hold back a minute there, folks. Dark sight, I step up and take a look, and then I come back.
Yeah, there is something moving up ahead.
Oh, fun.
Great.
I duck back. I say, something's moving.
Ooh.
How far ahead? Are we talking 60 feet, 90 feet, or 5 feet?
Well, it was within his it was within his sight. You'd moved forward about 30 to 40 feet, and it was another 40 to 50 feet ahead of that.
My dark vision is 60 feet, so...
Right.
So, right.
It was at sort of the limit of your dark vision.
And I got 30 feet in when I saw it.
Right. Well, everybody was at 30 feet in when you saw it.
But I couldn't make out what it was.
Right.
I sort of
you're going to have to get closer.
Okay, actually, I'm looking at my flaw. Screw the danger. I needs more lore. I'm going to get closer.
Okay, you get closer.
But I'm sticking by you because I don't
I'm still parallel with the shield bearer.
Well, okay, so Tess, Jilly, and Thagak are all moving forward to a threat that only Thagak can really see.
I draw my sword, though.
Okay, you draw your sword. Lanterns are held up, and you can see.
And no, I can't because they got lanterns.
Well, there's that.
Screws up my dark.
If you're ahead of us enough, it shouldn't. So if you're scouting ahead,
It just
It should
removes like
just-
darkness penalties from.
It should just make you stand out very clear in front of the lights.
Well, yes, but screw the danger. I need more lore.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So you kind of have to move ahead of the light to get a better look at what's going on ahead.
Yeah.
And you can see there is some sort of room ahead. The motion is on the floor.
Oh boy.
Only
And
slightly.
with the lights in the distance behind you, that movement has suddenly taken on a direction.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like you have a large number of some sort of insect coming down the corridor toward you.
I duck back
Whoa.
quickly.
Fascinating.
I duck back. Some sort of
Yeah.
insect. Are
You
we
will
talking
find it-
about the size of a pumpernickel loaf? A
No,
bear?
we're talking about this big. Beetles this size,
Why are you scared?
Uh-huh.
and there's hundreds of them.
Okay, I sort of duck back. I go, say, I go,
So Saria?
I duck back. I say, bugs, big ones.
Well,
I call that back as I'm ducking back.
Saria, do something.
Ooh, sorry.
Beetles. Hmm.
Yeah, as she points out, the druid would be fascinated. The Emmy is creeped the fuck out.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't
And
know.
I think we'll end it there for next
Yeah.
week.
Cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Cliffhanger. Yay.
time
Okay,
to stop
then.
some bugs.
Mm-hmm. Gush for all you're worth. And we're going to stop
Yeah.
broadcast there.